welcome to the next episode of Char.
Chai. How?
All right, so we're back. And,
We are back with...
yeah, that's what I'm gonna ask you actually. Can you tell our viewers or our listeners rather, what this episode is gonna be about?
Okay, as we discussed earlier, that in last episode, that this is not just for entertainment. We are also going to give our listeners some information so that they can, if they are thinking to move in Taiwan or maybe in other country, they could get some advantage through this podcast.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, what do you think? What things are important if someone is going to move in other country?
Well, first and foremost is courage, because it's. Sorry, I'm not gonna be practice. I mean, I that's
Okay,
the.
why did you say courage? Like, okay, for example, if I'm a company, okay, and I'm gonna hire you direct from your country to
No,
this country.
I'm saying something else. Whatever your reason is in going to a different country, whether work or study, you really need to be courageous, because it's not easy to be away from your family, to be outside of your comfort zone, to struggle alone. That's so if you're soft-hearted and you're not ready to face risks, then I'm sorry, maybe just stay in your country.
Yeah, more precisely, like your environment,
Yeah.
and the most important, your food, you know.
For Indians, that's very important. I know.
Okay. But you know, I know a few Taiwanese who are outside their country, and they are really suffering from this problem. You know, we
Which
always talk about Taiwanese food that is not tasty at all, right? But the Taiwanese who are outside, even they are missing their own food.
They're feeling like, oh, this is so salty. Oh, this is so sweet. Oh,
Yeah, we need just boiled one, right? There is no shh on our podcast, right? Okay.
unfiltered.
You need to hold this button all the time.
No.
Okay, I thought it's a big effort actually.
No.
You can put the device somewhere so that you can, because I want you to be very comfortable so that you can just speak. Okay, you know, I'm super lazy, so it's lots of
You're really
work.
making it so raw, huh? Even these things you're saying in the podcast, I don't know anymore.
Let it be. That's I already told you and our listeners. It's a very raw version. Okay, so I want to keep the soul of my podcast, our podcast. Okay. So yeah. So food is very. So we came to the point. Precisely, food is very important when you go outside, right? And as you said, family. Okay, but sometimes what people do, they take their family too, so they can sort out at least two problems: family and food together. Because when family members are with you, maybe like for Indians, many Indians homemakers, they cook food solely all the time. So a food problem is completely solved and family problem is almost solved. Maybe you cannot take all of your family members, but at least your direct family, like your wife, your kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's I think it's a different story for Filipinos. So I mean, it's a general thing to really, have that courage, as I was saying. But anyway, in going into the practical note, why not tell our listeners, how did we come here to, or how did we come to Taiwan, right?
Okay, actually, it's a very big story.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe we can tell them in parts. Okay.
Yeah.
So few initial parts we will handle right now.
Yeah.
And so the first thing is, let's start with this question. And the question is, why? Let me ask you first, and then I will tell the answer for the same question. Okay?
Yeah.
Why and when you thought to came out of your country?
Out of my country.
Yeah.
Why and when?
Why and when? Both questions are important.
Okay. Why? Because my country, that was way back 2018, is not in, well, me personally am in not a stable condition, like financially. That at the time my father has already retired from work, and I was working there, good salary, but this opportunity
sorry to
came.
interrupt you. That okay, I can understand you were not stable financially, right? You were in need of a job, right?
Yeah.
And so why not within Philippines?
Job within Philippines?
Yes.
No, okay, let me finish first.
Okay.
And it was really supposed to be, I will be teaching in Thailand. I'm a licensed teacher, and so I was already processing sort of my going to Thailand to teach there, and then an opportunity to study and work in Taiwan came along my way. So
okay, the question again, the question is same. Why you wanted to go out of your country? I'm not saying especially Taiwan, but why you wanted to come out of your country? There are plenty of job there also, right? People are doing job there, right? Then why?
Because it's the pay in our country is not good,
So,
even for professionals.
So you are saying that for most of the job, the pay is not sufficient.
Not
right?
at all, especially for teachers. If you're gonna, I never have imagined myself to be teaching in the Philippines. I was teaching. I was working in a different field, even if I was a licensed teacher there. So, So the why, to answer the why, it is because I am not getting paid as much in my country before.
Okay, and you told me once that your father were earning pretty handful, right?
Because he's working abroad too. He was working abroad too.
Okay, so you didn't have some saving to start a business or something?
Oh, that's a different story.
Please, this platform is for stories.
No, because it's gonna take us a long time. It's not what we're.
Okay, just make it short, no? Or if you wanna, we can extend it for next episode. Don't worry about that. You just go ahead. Okay, I will give you chance to finish this story.
Yeah, next episode, not now.
Okay, so this is your why. Tell me when you
I said
first saw it.
2002. That was 2018.
You already told me, right? 2018. What you were doing that time?
I was in a call center company.
So you already finished your college?
Yeah, I graduated.
So
I already have my.
You were already doing the job in Philippines,
Yes.
right? Okay.
And then
at that time, you already made your mind that okay, at some point I must have to go out of this country.
Actually, not really. not really like that. Not. It just is a fact that I can be earning more outside than staying in the Philippines as a teacher.
Okay, so now I will answer the same. And for so the question is same, why you wanted to come out of your country, when and why, right? So when I would say that it was my like I always wanted to come out of the country.
Oh, okay.
It was like kind of wanted to have an experience of the outer world, because I told you the Indian societies, especially from those town and cities, quite conservative.
Okay.
And so it's like
you
wanted to fly kind of thing.
Breathe another air.
Yeah. And also, because of internet and influence of information, I always thought there are like a lot of opportunity. What I want to say that there wasn't any necessity initially.
Oh, okay.
So it was just my dream, you can say, to come out of my country and to get the experience and to work outside and to I wanted to harness the opportunity. Okay. And I also told you that initially it was just a dream, but later, okay, let me tell you.
So can I clarify something? So it's really not something economic reasons.
Of course not. Even now, my family is quite self-dependent.
Okay.
So finance was never a problem for me.
Okay, sana all.
No. You were rich actually. I was never rich, but I like my family had just sufficient and quite constant. So it's not like flicking a lot, right? It's not like you who was once at the peak of the stability.
Really. Oh no, not like that. We're just stable too.
Okay, and then suddenly got unstable. So we never had such kind of condition before. Okay, and later, so I wanted to explore the world, but I never wanted to really reside out of my country. Because we are also quite family oriented people, right. Don't want to leave our parents in their old age kind of thing. But somehow I couldn't, in India there are lots of competition for stable jobs. So I tried, but since beginning, since my childhood, I was never a very fast kind of a student. I cannot do things very fast. I'm not very competitive.
Okay.
So I think that's why, and these are the needs for all these kind of exams. You have to be very fast. You have the time limit. You have to finish these questions.
That's my talent.
Math, English, and
that's my talent.
Okay, math, English. The time they gave me, for example, the time they gave me to solve whole paper, in that time I only can read those questions.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
Okay.
What I mean to read those questions means to have complete understanding. So when I understand questions and finish it, it's already done. The time already gone. Okay. So I was not fit there, and as I told you, I was not like too much diligent. So it's not like, okay, if I wouldn't get this, so I can do something else. So it was not easy for me to switch the kind of job. Like there are few kind of job I can do, but it's not like I can do anything.
But wait, didn't you think that you going out of your country, you don't know the people, you don't know the culture, you don't know anything, you were like
I'm sorry. It's quite good question, and I'm happy you raised it because I would feel so glad to answer it. Okay. There's a story behind it, and the thing, the secret lies in my behavior.
Okay, which is
I'm damn introvert person. Even in my locality, people don't know me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
We are in the opposite poles.
Yeah.
I'm so extroverted, everyone knows. Okay, you go.
Okay. And in other hand, so yeah, I was telling you that people don't know me around my locality. So it was like I was always lonely. I was alien in my own locality.
Okay.
And it was more
Evident what?
like it was more difficult to live in your own locality, with your own people, because they know your language, they can read your body language, they can read your mind. So
they know you from skin to bone marrow.
Yeah. That's the best phrase, I think. So, and an introvert person always wants to hide everything, which I cannot do there. So I wanted to go very far away where nobody would know me.
But India is very big. Why not in the other state?
Again, I told you, it's not like you can go anywhere and you can get any job which could give you sufficient means to live.
Okay, so partly it's economic too, right?
Yeah. I told you initially it was a dream, but later, it became economic for me.
Okay.
Like you, right now you are supporting your family too, right? But I told you my family's financial condition is quite stable, and I don't need to support them. Although there were few incident because of COVID happened, and I was asked to support or be ready to support them, but luckily I never got the conditions where I was in need to send a bunch of like a lot of money.
Feeling jealous now.
Yeah, you could, but it doesn't mean later they won't ask about it. But I think condition would not go that much bad ever, until unless it's really an emergency situation. Okay, so I told you my behavior was the big reason to come out of my country. So these are the things why: my dream, my condition, my behavior. Right? Condition in the sense like I was not quite fit socially and financially. Right? Okay, so these were the reasons why. And when I told you since childhood I wanted to come, but actually when I decided after my masters, it was the year around 2015 when I was seriously into making the passport and go out of the country. Even just after bachelor's, I was trying to do the masters from some foreign university, but as we will discuss later also, that finance is the biggest reason, like factor for you, for anyone to decide where, when to go, right?
Okay, but you came here 2018, right? So what happened to the 3-year gap since the time you thought of?
I told you, since bachelor I was trying, right? But I couldn't get a proper place, and I didn't have the proper document also.
Right.
I believe both of us belong to a country where documentation is a big deal, right? So even I told you, my passport, it took around 3 years
to be processed.
I would say, to be released. I would say,
oh my gosh, that's too much.
Then only I was able to get that. It's not like it was the processing time, but my file always got rejection.
Oh.
And they kept it,
For
reject
what
and
reason?
kept it for like
errors in
errors.
I know.
You
Got
you
it
would
now.
understand, right?
Yeah, okay.
We are not from European countries where
Yeah.
everything is quite up to date, and you just slide a card
Everything
and
is digital.
everything is there. So you have a spelling mistake, you have
which is
birth date. So you
I don't know.
and they ask for your it's not your own documents. They will ask the birth certificate of your parents also, kind of thing.
And if your parents have errors too, so
and our addresses is not like very proper. Our things are not very proper. So there were many things, but finally I got my passport, and I seriously started applying here and there after my master's. And from 15 to 18. Okay, I always had the history of backlogs. Okay, so I had few backlogs. So 1 year
from your university.
Yeah. So somehow in 2016 I completely finished my backlogs also. Okay. And if you know the IITs, so in one of IITs, IITs are the premier technical institute
I know that.
in India. Okay, so from IIT Bombay, I was doing a job of project assistant under a professor, and I was getting some kind of salary also. So it was a good experience also, because I was intended to go to some research kind of work. So I will tell you more about it later, but I think we have 10 more minutes, so I would end after your talk, actually. So I would ask something else so that you can give me some answer, and after that we'll finish this podcast. Okay. And so why and when we have talked briefly. Now can you tell, let's talk about the documents very fast. Okay, so what documents you were required, maybe now it's changed, to come here? And in which form?
Then I have to make it late again that the reason why I was here was to study, and because
you came here as a student, right?
Yes, as a student. I came here as a student.
Were you intended to come here as a student or as a worker?
The opportunity that came was a study and work program.
Okay.
So I came here as a student.
So
The intention was really just to go out of my country. Any way.
It sounds like you're so desperate to come out.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
Actually, I was too. Yeah. Okay. So just come to the document part.
Yeah.
And so
you
need your degrees. Right?
Yeah. Of course, authenticated by our Department of Foreign Affairs, and we have like a Taiwan embassy there. We call it TACO.
So all was done by yourself,
of
or
course.
you gave it to some agent?
No way, I did by myself everything.
Okay.
And then of course your birth certificate and what else? Oh my, that was like 5 years ago. Can I remember anything? But those
medical
important
certificate?
Things. Medical certificate too. That's true.
There is some kind. Who gave you the format of medical certificate?
No, there are like hospitals that are like associated with people who are leaving the country. For this, like you would tell them, oh, this is the reason of my going out, so I need a general checkup, so they have a form for that and stuff like that. So yeah, those three basic requirements. And I believe I also needed my like police clearance. We call it
police
NBI,
clearance,
national.
Right? Okay, got it. That you don't have any criminal records. Yeah, okay.
I just remember those.
So medical, authenticated degree, and
birth certificate,
police record, and of course passport, right?
Yeah, for sure, of course, passport.
Anything else?
I can't think of any. I think that's the most basic.
Okay, and for authentication, how someone can do the authentication, and can you do you must need a original degree certificate, or provisional degree is fine? Provisional and
we don't have that. Original you will be given,
because original you would get only after convocation, right?
Yeah, of course.
And if your convocation is like delayed or happening later, and you need to apply now, so
I know what you're saying. It's the problem that my cousin is encountering now, but I didn't have that problem at that time because I was like, how many years?
So if you'll go to your university, and you will say, I need to apply now, they would give some kind of provisional degree, like similar kind of degree. Do you know about that?
I haven't heard of that.
You haven't heard. Maybe our listeners would comment about it, and they can tell other people who are intended to go out that what is the procedure, how to do that, right?
Yeah.
And the departments are for authentication.
Department of Foreign Affairs and TACO.
How much?
Taiwan.
How long it takes? This is the best part. I know.
Oh God, I already forgot about that. How many? But because in my case, it only took us 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And I don't think it's gonna happen the same right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Since I learned about the study work program, in my case, I'm saying about my case, it was 3 weeks before my flight to Taiwan. So everything was rushed. So of course, if your documents have to be rushed, you would have to pay more. That's the thing.
I think that's all for today's podcast, and I will give information about my process in next podcast, I believe, because as I try to keep our podcast for at most half an hour, So time is up. And if you really like this kind of informative talk, please let us know so we can include it more and more. Otherwise, we are quite a chicadora person, you know. Okay, so let's finish it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's we'll hang in there. We will have our next episode, and you'll get to know more about the information of being in Taiwan on the next episodes.
Okay, so
For now, we'll we're saying goodbye for this episode of Char
Chai
How.
How.